Our third speaker today also recommends visiting the Monterey Bay Aquarium, especially the Discovery Zone for the little ones. But for us adults, he recommends a wine tasting at the Taste of Monterey. Giving us his sixth speech entitled The Art of Procrastination, please welcome Chance Litton.
Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and distinguished guests, some of you may recall the theme of my icebreaker speech about a year ago. I described myself in 3 words: lucky, lazy, and loquacious. Some of you doubted me at the time. How lazy can you be, you ask? After all, I'm a fairly successful guy. I've got a bachelor's degree in physics. I'm working toward a master's in the same here at NPS. I've had a pretty successful career as a naval officer so far, and I've got a happy young family. I mean, I'm a nuclear engineer, for goodness sake. How can a person qualified by the Department of Energy to operate and manage a nuclear reactor be lazy? Nonetheless, I assure you, and I'm sure those of you who have known me for that year might agree, I am considerably lazy. Perhaps even bordering on apathetic and unreliable, depending on the value I arbitrarily assign to the task at hand. So how do I explain my successes? I have a secret weapon. I have mastered the art of procrastination. I am a professional procrastinator. My first experience with procrastination came in 3rd grade science. It coincided with my first experience with regularly assigned homework. Every week, my teacher would hand out a picture of an animal, and we were to take it home, color it, and bring it back by the end of the week. Even in 3rd grade, I recognized this for what it was: a colossal waste of time. Therefore, I refused to do it until the very last minute. Just before we turned the assignments in, I would take out the picture and a crayon, and I would scribble across the animal, and I would turn it in. Needless to say, my teacher was not impressed. And that's how I ended up with my first C in 3rd grade science. But I learned an important lesson. If you want to be successful at a task, you must identify the required performance parameters and achieve satisfactory results on them. It's a pretty basic lesson, and most people learn that at some point, probably before 3rd grade. But the next question is the harder one. How do you achieve those results? The answer most successful people come up with is to commit the necessary time and sustained effort to produce the desired result. I came to a different conclusion. My approach was to get really good at last-minute performances. Producing high-quality work in short periods of time under high-stress situations would be the key to my success. I continued to improve these skills through junior high and high school, and I perfected them in college. I came to know the limitations of this plan through a long series of often painful lessons. The foremost limitation is that producing the highest quality of work is impossible with the last-minute method. Given 2 individuals of equivalent talent performing the same task with a reasonable time and resource constraints, the hard work guy is going to beat the last-minute method guy every time. Therefore, you simply cannot achieve your full performance potential using the last-minute method. You have to strike that right at the beginning. Secondly, it's a high-risk program. If several projects come due at the same time, or a project requires more time than you calculated it was going to, as in the case of the 3rd grade coloring pictures, you are guaranteed to have a substandard performance. The last-minute method also tends to create enmity among your coworkers, particularly if your product is necessary for their project to continue. The high-stress situation you create for yourself spills over onto others who may not be able to handle the stress or simply would like to avoid it. Even if you deliver high-quality products technically on time, you still could be labeled as unreliable, and therefore an ironic tone of conversation might suit. However, to the last-minute method. An obvious one is that you have much more free time than the long, hard work crowd. By waiting until the last possible moment to complete a task, it is by definition impossible for you to waste your time on it. The flip side of that is that as a professional procrastinator, it's not very likely that you'll be spending that extra time doing anything of value. I personally use that time to play computer games, start interesting hobby projects that I never finish, and develop useless philosophical concepts like this one. There are more subtle benefits to the last-minute method, though. One, you get very good at performing under stress. As a junior officer on board a submarine, my last-minute method was stretched to its limits doing my administration jobs. However, my practiced abilities at performing under stress and crisis management served me very well with the more exciting, and to me more important, jobs as officer of the deck at sea and fighting the virtual ship in attack trainers. I was awarded the Squadron 7 Warfighter of the Year award because I outperformed the long, hard work guys in tasks that long, hard work doesn't pay dividends. Another skill that is improved by the last-minute method is prioritization. Due to the extreme time constraints you place yourself under, there are often times when all tasks cannot be performed to the same standard. But you will find that in most cases, all tasks don't need to be performed to the same standard. In fact, many tasks in a corporate environment, like the Navy, are equivalent to coloring animal pictures and are colossal wastes of time. Unlike in third-grade science, poor performance on these tasks will have little to no effect on your overall performance or on the performance of the unit. The trick is in identifying which tasks can be sacrificed and what their minimum performance requirements are so that you can focus on superior performance on the important tasks. Lastly, the last-minute method keeps things exciting and challenging. Pulling off a successful project at the last minute is a thrill that simply can't be matched by the much tamer satisfaction of a reward brought about by long, hard work. I hope I've been able to shed some light on the art of procrastination. While there are limitations and pitfalls to the last-minute method, there are also many benefits. I don't recommend it, however, to the faint of heart, or to those seeking to achieve their full potential. I often wish that I myself had followed the path of long, hard work. In fact, I wish that as recently as this morning, as I was writing this speech. Madam Principal.